So I just finished the Traitors UK Season 4, Episode 7. This picked up right after the previous episode where we got the cliffhanger from Matt's proposal. Honestly, in my mind, I felt like the traitors can say whatever and can always backtrack, so that's what's been the problem with me for the smoky mirrors, because in the end, like they can just say whatever and backtrack. But what I do like is that the traitors still strategize. Like Rachel or Steven said that we should say yes because that would keep him not saying anything at breakfast. And the strategy actually worked out because that's exactly what he did. He just shut himself up during breakfast. But holy shit, I did not expect Harriet's strategy in that room. I was mind blown. She was in control of that entire situation. Steven and Rachel was like so confused on what they would be doing next. I loved Harriet for that. She's such a badass. So I actually liked how the smoky mirrors kind of ended up. I thought it would be like a very generic Q&A with like useless answers because they can just lie. But I was very surprised with how both Matthew and Harriet did their Q&As. So it was a really great way to spice things up. But despite like being wowed by Harriet at the smoky mirrors, sadly she was quite disappointing at breakfast. Like she basically like ruined her gameplay. She kind of set herself up to be banished at the round table by like randomly sprouting up her like accusations on Rachel without really saying anything. And it went to the point where the other faithfuls started getting annoyed and suspicious of her. I honestly find Harriet to be one of the best faithfuls or the smartest so far, but even she proved that like even she can be fooled because like she even told Steven that he was never on her list. And also later on you'll find that she also got a lot of things wrong at the round table. The roundtables have always been so chaotic this season, and I'm all for it. One thing that I was very surprised is actually, I'm surprised Rachel has never considered bringing up the fact that what Harriet is doing to her is very similar to what Fiona did to her with a huge random outburst. And I feel like it would have been a great thing to bring up to to basically turn it back against Harriet to being the faithful. Because then Rachel can make it sound like Fiona did this outburst and she turned out to be a faithful. So I feel like uh, Harriet is doing the exact same thing to avenge Fiona at this point. It was too bad that Harriet didn't really explain herself properly. She was so bad at the round table. She was very inconclusive. She wasn't succinct at all. And she started spouting off very random, unnecessary things that kind of detracted from her main point of Rachel being a traitor. Like, out of the blue, she started naming, like, random faithfuls as traitors, which kind of started killing her credibility, which was such a bad move. But one thing I totally find her and why I say that I find her really smart is even when, like, she was kind of saying some really random stuff that she didn't need to say when she was getting questioned by the other faithfuls, how she defended herself was still really smart. Like it was very logical. It made sense. um it, I think the biggest problem is it's one of those things where she's kind of too smart in her own bubble and she has a hard time connecting to the faithfuls and conveying the thoughts properly. So in the end, like she really just blew herself up. She self-sacrificed, and the worst part is like it ended up being useless because like I said, like she randomly pointed to other faithfuls as being traitors, detracting from Rachel, and the end result was nobody after the round table, nobody thought of Rachel being the traitor. Nobody nobody even considered her anymore. Like after the round table, everyone was more suspicious of Matt and Roxy as being the traitors because because Harriet brought them up. But big props to Rachel for how she handled herself at the round table. It was very impressive. I honestly thought she was a goner after the smoky mirrors with Harriet, but what she did at the round table in defending herself and articulating her thoughts and how she kind of pushed back to Harriet, like those are just gut feelings. Those aren't evidence. Like it was a really good pushback and it really made sense because like as faithfuls it would really make you think that hey it's true like those doesn't really sound like evidence and honestly that's why I said Harriet's downfall was the fact that her evidence wasn't really that conclusive. I thought like how she went against Hugo made way more sense, like had all the facts lined up and she presented it properly, but for Rachel it was like all over the place. This episode showed for me how much of a dark horse Steven could be. I love how good Steven was in having Rachel's back, like going around the faithfuls after the round table to like get a feel of who they're voting for, to kind of like get a sense and kind of like strategically like move people away from Rachel without like being suspicious. And I feel like it actually showed how smart of a traitor he is. So I noticed that in the previous episodes, like Steven didn't really talk much, and I feel like it's because Rachel has been the one talking most of the time, and then well, at the beginning, Hugo was talking quite a bit, and then Rachel as well. And then when Hugo left, Fiona and Rachel was talking all the time and had that big fight. So Steven was kind of um, like holding himself back. And since now that Rachel's kind of like on the spotlight, Stephen have to kind of like step up, and it really shows how good Stephen is. Like he actually had some amazing decisions and logic throughout the episode, especially during the discussions at the turret. He was never that vocal like in previous episodes, but now he's stepping up to the plate and I love seeing that side of him. On a random side note, during one of the B-rolls for Adam during the turret discussions, what was he doing? Like he was holding something that looked like a bent hanger, and then there was like a lighted up thing going around, like that he was holding. Like, was that supposed to be like a ghost detector in the castle or some sort of traitor detector? Like that really cracked me up. So that's a wrap for me. I'm very excited for episode 8. Let me know in the comments what you think and what you think Harriet did. Like, do you think it's smart? Do you think she deserved to go? Or if the Faithfuls did a huge mistake? I'm really curious. Like, I feel like the worst part the Faithfuls would be doing for episode 8 is to not vote Rachel when like Harriet already put herself in the line. Like the least you can do is like see it through to the end so that you can get the peace of mind that Harriet was either right or wrong. But now they're going all over the place saying that maybe they're doing Matt or Roxy instead.